When you think about businesses that are selling through the roof, like Aloe or Allbirds, sure, you think about a great product, a cool brand, and great marketing. But an often overlooked secret is actually the businesses behind the business, making selling, and for shoppers, buying, simple. For millions of businesses, that business is Shopify. Nobody does online business better than Shopify. It's home of Shop Pay, the #1 checkout in the world. You can use it to boost conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts going abandoned and way more sales going through to checkout. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period at shopify.com/income, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/income to upgrade your selling today. That's shopify.com/income.
USAA knows dynamic duos can save the day, like superheroes and sidekicks or auto and home insurance. With USAA, you can bundle your auto and home and save up to 10%. Learn more and get a quote at usaa.com/bundle. Restrictions apply.
Hello, I'm Jason, and I support GenXGrownUp on Patreon. You should do the same, because the world just needs more GXG to make it a better place. Just go to genxgrownup.com/Patreon to donate to the cause.
No life, no fun. Don't you know that you're a grown-up?
GenXGrownUp is a YouTube channel, website, and audio podcast you're listening to right now. All made for and by people who love exploring media, games, tech, and toys of yesterday and today through the eyes of Gen Xers who refuse to grow up.
Your dinner cannot just be french fries. Basically, life sucks as a grown-up.
Welcome back, Gen X Grown Up Podcast, listener to this episode 195 of the Gen X Grown Up Podcast. I am John. Joining me as always for the show, of course, is George. Hey, George, how you doing?
Hey, how's it going, guys?
You know, it's not a show without Mo. Hey, Mo.
Hey, how's it going?
In this episode, we tune in for the new horror sci-fi TV series that expands on the Alien franchise. Check out a high-tech gadget to help contact lens wearers see clearer for longer, and play a twisted video game where it's your job to clean up crime scenes for mob bosses. Those stories and many more coming your way in this episode. Before that, though, we always like to kick off the show talking about one of our fourth listeners. The three of us are here. We may listen. If anybody else takes the time to listen and write in, you are our fourth listener. And the fourth listener for this episode is Rick P. Subject line of his email is Back to the Future.
Oh, cool.
Referring to our backtrack from a few months ago. Here's what Rick has to say. Hi guys, I enjoyed the Back to the Future episode and have been meaning to rewatch it for the 40th anniversary. I finally got around to it, and even though I have watched the movie more times than I can count, I noticed something for the first time yesterday. The movie theater in 1985 is a porn theater showing XXX movies, and there's an adult bookstore on the square as well. Now everybody's nodding, by the way. You can't hear him, Rick. They're all nodding. Yep. He says, I don't know how I ever missed this, and I'm curious why the filmmakers made this choice, as the town seems like a small town that would not have these things. My recollection from the 80s is that porn theaters were in larger cities but not smaller towns. Am I just being naive about that? My 1985 porn was available on VHS. Thanks for letting us know, Rick, on VHS. And I would think the adult shop would put the theater out of business. Also, considering we had the Satanic Panic and the PMRC policing records, how did a movie as big as Back to the Future get away with a porn theater and no one else ever said anything? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Thanks, Rick P. So, porn theater and Back to the Future. Thoughts?
I mean, it was intentional. So they were trying to show how the idyllic 1955 life had degraded by the 80s, which was the bastion of sin in the eyes of small town America at that point. And I know that the writers, director, everybody involved, they wanted elements in that town to show that things were slowly going downhill. That's why you have the bum that's laying on the bench and you know,
there's a lot of litter
papers blowing
too.
around because trash is not picked up like it would have been in the 50s. You don't have the gas station is all grungy and falling apart because there's not guys running out to oil your car and wash your windshield and everything else like they do in the 50s.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, all of that was designed to show how middle America was on the decline in the 80s because of big corporations and lax values and everything else. So,
and he was happy to see it. Like, he came back, he's like, yes, we're back in the grunge-filled 80s. It's not the idyllic 50s anymore.
Yeah, and it really didn't change because, some things we noticed before, like changed, the name of the mall and some other things from when he left and came back. Mm-hmm. But that theater and stuff was still there. So I don't think that changed at all. So nothing he did affected that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Hooray. The porn theater is back.
Yes.
Thank goodness.
Takes more than time travel to get rid of porn.
Right. It's resilient, like cockroach. Yeah, you can't get rid of it. So yeah, thanks for writing in, Rick. Yeah, I remember. I think probably I know I didn't see that the first watch through, but I remember later years when you're watching it, looking for all the cool things that changed. Yeah, that's one of those that not an accident, and it is probably an exaggeration. I think it was used as an exaggeration of how things are going down in this little small town.
It's a very obvious thing to,
It's a really easy thing to show. Yeah. Really easy to show on screen. Yeah, cool. All right. Well, Rick, thank you for listening and writing in. We appreciate that you did. We love it every time the fourth listener takes time to drop us a line. If you'd like your email featured here on the show, it's drop dead easy. Just fire off on email to podcast@GenXGrownUp.com. We read every single one, and most of them, just like Rick's, will eventually make the show. All right, with that good business in the rearview mirror, it's time to jump into the body of episode 195 right after this. Stick around.
This summer, try the new Strato Frappuccino blended beverage at Starbucks. It's the classic blended iced coffee you know and love, now topped with a creamy layer of handcrafted brown sugar cold foam. Available for a limited time. Your Strato Frappuccino is ready at Starbucks.
You're listening to Gen X Grown Up. But if you have a friend who's not yet listening, why not? Tell them about us. They'll thank you later.
Every time folks eat super fruity bonkers fruit candy, it makes a big hit. Know why bonkers is so super fruity? It's got a chewy fruity outside with an extra fruity inside. Makes me want to eat it up.
Bonkers bonks you out.
Thumb candy.
All right, gents, let's get cooking, talking about media here at the top of the show, as is the norm. Now, of course, this could be anything in the realm of media you're enjoying. It could be comics or music or film or books or television, whatever. And George, what you have on the list, I'm eager to talk about. What have you been watching?
Well, yeah, I've watched the very first 2 episodes of Alien Earth.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all I want to say about that.
Yeah, I get where you're coming from.
Because you don't want to spoil it, or because you don't like it, or
I have my thoughts, but okay, George.
Yeah, so first episode is a little over an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Second episode is a little bit more traditional in the 40-45 minute range or so.
Yeah.
First episode, they throw a lot at you as far as characters and situations. It does denote that it takes place 2 years before the Nostromo incident. If you're familiar with the alien timeline.
Yep.
But that's also very confusing because,
it's very confusing.
The whole Nostromo thing, it's like nobody's ever heard of xenomorphs when we're talking about Alien, but 2 years prior to Nostromo ever encountering one is on Earth. And I'm not giving anything away. It's a name of the goddamn TV show. So if you haven't figured
it's on
that
the poster.
Out yet,
there's a xenomorph or it's Alien, right?
The central story so far seems to center around a brother and sister duo and around the idea that the main corporation that we're used to, Weyland-Yutani, is not the only corporation involved on Earth. There's apparently 5 corporations.
4. They talk about 4 specifics.
No,
and Prodigy's the new 5th one.
Oh, there's 5?
I think you're right.
Prodigy's the new 5th one.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, you're right. Yep.
Yeah. So, and that's the new trillionaire genius kid, whatever.
Barefoot kid, yeah.
All these corporations own the countries that we know today. So, Weyland-Yutani is apparently North and South America, I think they said at one point, and all the other ones they say. Prodigy has this island, and that's where the first couple episodes take a lot of their story from. But they throw so many characters and so many concept at you. It looks like at first like it's almost going to be a Blade Runner story, because the very first thing that they show you is this little text message about the different types of robotic creatures involved in the storyline. Right. And whichever one turns out to be the most efficient is the one that's going to rule the galaxy
universe
for millennia to come. Universe, yeah. Of course, the xenomorphs don't give a shit about what robots we created.
I don't think that's the issue.
We'll eat any company you give us. That's fine.
Exactly. So I'm just not sure what this show wants to be yet. I'm not sure where it wants to go.
Mm-hmm.
I had a hard time deciding to watch episode 2 after episode 1. I waited like a day and a half before I said, okay, fine, I'll give episode 2 a shot, because I was really kind of put off by episode 1. I don't know what I expected, but that wasn't it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny. I'm exactly in that chasm between episodes 1 and 2, like you were. I just haven't gotten to 2 yet. Not so much. I don't think I fall in the same category as you. Like I'm disillusioned, or I guess it's hard to say disillusioned when you don't know what to expect, but you're not sure you're like it yet. I was more of a, like, I decided to wait and digest, as you said, so much stuff that they throw at you that I found all to be interesting, and almost feel like I ought to rewatch the first one so I understand well enough to go into the second one.
I can see that.
But I'll tell you what I did really like. I liked the look of stuff on a spaceship, especially.
Sure.
Now, the stuff on the planet, whatever, it's Earth. It looks like Earth. It's a futuristic-y Earth. That's all cool. Yeah. But I tell you, some of the shots on the ship with the crew that are just basically space truckers, just like on the Nostromo, those shots and the attitudes between people when they were kind of hanging out at the big table, that gave me the alien feels.
Right.
But as you said, there's way more to this. It's alien Earth. It's not alien spaceship anymore. There's more stuff happening. That stuff I'm still digesting. Like, I think I liked it more than you did from what I'm hearing, and you're being careful not to spoil anything. I really like the concept of the hybrid people, the child's brain in the body of this robot or whatever. But that's all I'm going to say about that. Is really interesting, the concept. But there is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I understand where George is going too, because I saw the first episode and I'm like, where's this going? That was my I'm looking in my head. I'm like, where is this show going? Like, I wasn't sure what am I looking forward to this next episode. So it wasn't something that like normally if it's a really good show, I'll watch both. Like you can watch one, I got to watch the second one right away. This one, I was like, let's go to bed. Because I was like, we'll watch it. And we watched it the next day. I did watch the second one. We watched it together, me and my wife. And we were like, at the end of the second one too, I'm still kind of like, what is this about here? Like, what's going on? And again, like the timeline doesn't make any sense to me.
No,
as far as fitting into the world.
Yeah, they could have done this differerly, but I think they went way off with the timeline.
Yeah. And they do introduce additional aliens, creature kind of things in this. There's some other stuff in there, which is weird, but I'm like, okay, what does this have to do with anything? Like I said, it just seemed like a lot of stuff, and I don't understand what it has to do with the central plot, essentially.
Yeah, like, is this a wax on, wax off situation? Is it all going to make sense in a couple of episodes?
Yeah, I'm hoping.
Or will I still be here to find out? That's the question.
I mean, I was so disillusioned after the first episode. And John, I too love the interior spaceship stuff.
Oh, that was great.
That they start off with. But that's only about 30% of the first episode.
Certainly.
Yeah.
Right.
The rest of the episode is Cancer Girl who becomes Robot Girl and weird
Super Robot Girl.
Timothy Oliphant, maybe a robot, maybe not guy.
Not sure. Yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds of strange stuff, and the way that they're using the couple of notable actors just feels off. Anyway, I was so disillusioned that between episodes 1 and 2, I went and watched that Alicia Silverstone Irish dramedy movie, TV series. I watched both episodes of that and enjoyed the hell out of it compared to this. So that's saying something from such a big sci-fi fan. But they've got a lot of making up to do. I hope they've done it, because obviously these episodes are already in the can. They're not filming them week to week with all that budget and production and whatnot. So we'll see how it goes. I will stick around for episode 3 because episode 2 was a little bit more alien-y, even though it was based primarily 100% in Earth, which was fine with me. They did enough to make me feel like, there's disastrous consequences and alien lurking around every corner, scary stuff and whatnot. So I felt good about episode 2. I'm hoping I start to feel a little bit better every episode as we go. That's what I hope, because I don't want this thing to fail, because I love the franchise.
Yeah,
so
I'm with you.
Anyway.
So you're going to stick around. You're going to stick it out and find out where it goes.
So stick around. I mean, it's alien, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I even watched Prometheus, so I'm a glutton.
There you go.
we all fell victim to that. It's okay.
Exactly. Anyway, Mo, what about you? What have you been watching?
So actually, I'm going to talk about a book.
Okay.
So it's a book. It was written by a good friend of the show, Tamara.
Oh, yeah.
And so we got like a preview copy of it. And the way we want to talk about it is just the fact it's a children's book, I should say, called The Day We Found Yesterday. And let me tell you, this is like, it's unfinished, but I can't wait for her to finish it.
Yeah.
And so something you say, I say about books is that like, oh man, I couldn't get past it, which is normally a bad thing. And this one, I actually couldn't get past certain pages because there's so much to look at on each page that I was glad I was not trying to read this to a child, because they'd be telling me like,
they'd be bored as hell.
Because I'd be like stopping and look, because she just throws so many really just fun 80s references. And it's a child story about two kids that hear their grandparents talk about something they lost, and they go on an adventure into town trying to figure out what it is. That's just, high level what the story is about. And they visit different stores of people who knew their grandparents and, find out about their history and stuff like that. And it's just so cute though, because if you look at like when they go into the art store, there's the midnight oil paints, and then you see a sign that says Stray with pictures of cats under it.
Yep.
Or the paint set called True Colors. I mean, it's just every single thing, everything you look at. It's remember those Richard Scarry? Did you ever read those as a kid? The Richard Scarry ones, and how like they were just
Busy Town or whatever it's called.
They were so dense with stuff.
Yeah,
that you would spend half the time just looking at a page trying to say, oh, there's a person doing this, there's a person doing that. That's the impression I got with this, was that there was just so much going on each page and so many puns, just so many fun 80s references. I think this is going to be a great book when she's finally finished.
And to put this in context, Tamara's other work was these ultimate mixtape books, which were like trivia about 80s music and artists and things like that. And so what she's done with this, I saw the early copy that you got, Mo, and it's taking that love of all this 80s music and all these pop artists and all the people that you know from 80s music, but pushing it into the artwork of this children's book so that, look, I know I'm guilty of forcing my daughter to enjoy 80s music or listen to it at least. So this is like another avenue in to get your kid to understand and know the history of, pop music from the 80s and our decade. And it was, even with the temporary artwork, and there's some notes in there that say what's coming, already it's like, oh, this is fun. Like, I don't even need a kid to read this.
Oh, I know, exactly. It's just like, and there's fun things like there's a section that says spray paint and it says caution, contents under pressure. It's just like, again, just like there's more references everywhere. I just can't wait for her to finish it. Like I said, the color pages looked amazing, so I can't wait. The whole thing is colored. And I know there's some tweaks and stuff she's working on it, but already I could tell you that I think it could go out almost as is, finish the coloring, and it would be a great book. As soon as it comes out, I'm definitely gonna buy copies for all the grandkids.
Yeah, she's very clever and witty. She doesn't just do who sang this. It's more of like a clever way to get to the trivia, and she's kind of embedded that in this book. And it's
very much.
It's really sweet how the kids are on this journey, as you said, for their grandparents, and they think they fail. And a spoiler for this children's book, they get back and go, "No, you didn't fail. You saw the cool stuff we wanted you to see. You helped find our memories," which is really sweet.
Yeah, it was very, very sweet. So
the day we found yesterday. Yeah, well, I'm sure it's going to be in Amazon at some point. We'll throw a link when we have one.
Absolutely.
Let you know.
And also I'll throw links to her other books too as well in the show notes.
Of course.
So you guys can see those as well.
Help Tamara out.
Now, if there's probably a 180 from what I just talked about, I think it's what you're about to talk about, John.
Well, it is about kids.
Yeah,
so
just
kind
kids.
of, a little bit. Yeah. So I was looking forward to this new horror movie called Weapons that came out last week. In fact, I think when we talked last time, I had my ticket already. I was eager to go and see it. The premise of this film is small town America at 2:17 a.m. in the middle of the night. Every kid in this one classroom, except one, gets up out of their bed, walks out the front door, never comes back. So it's a whole classroom of kids missing. And it was a couple of years ago, what was the film I was still looking forward to? Long Legs. Remember we talked about how it was overhyped as the next big horror movie and everything? I was fearful I was going to come into this film overhyped. And let me just start by going to the end of my review. This is a tremendous movie. Going into it, I saw the Rotten Tomatoes was 98, 99%, 100% at one point. It's still up there in the 90s, even, audiences and everything. This is the same guy. I think his name is Josh Krager or something like that. He's the guy that did Barbarian, that weird two people go to the same Airbnb and there's a caverns underneath it, crazy stuff. Same director. He's done several very creative and interesting things in this film. The first and smartest probably is that all the stuff you saw in the trailer happens in the first 5 minutes of the movie.
Oh, cool.
Okay, good.
So if you're like waiting for these amazing things to happen, you haven't seen them yet. Now you've seen tiny glimpses of action, but you have no context. There's no like, when are we going to get to that scene? No. Very, very smart. So the trailers didn't spoil anything. Great choice there. The next really cool thing he did is that this film is a series of vignettes. It is a linear film, but it kind of rewinds on itself a little bit. So it starts with you understand what happened with a little voiceover, and then you see the teacher. And she's, of course, the parents want answers. And what did this teacher do to our kids? She has to be responsible. And you follow her story for a couple of days. And then it cuts to another character you've seen in the periphery, and you follow him. And it just rewinds about 6-8 hours, and you watch him. You see it overlaps a little, and you follow. And maybe you'll see something crazy happen with somebody. You're like, what? Well, he's the next vignette. So you're going to see what happened from his context and how the crazy thing happened to him. And it was marketed like Longlegs. Oh, it's the greatest horror movie to come along in all time. But rather than really call it a horror, they just left it as open, like, this is a creepy movie. And that's exactly what this movie is. It's wonderfully creepy. There were times sitting in my chair where I was like, oh my goodness, what? You're like that anxiety because you see something about to happen, and he fools you with what you think is going to happen is something different, like something crazy you think is going to happen, and something innocuous does that's almost scarier. I'm not going to explain what that means because I don't want to give any spoilers, but it so subverts your expectations. It's such a good mystery and thriller, interesting structure, like not quite, but a la Pulp Fiction that kind of jumps around and you get to put the story together in your head. Tremendous. I can't wait to see it again. This guy has a huge setup for being the next great thriller horror author of films. I can't wait to see what he does next.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see this movie. So here's the big question I have, though. It's like, I understand the basic plot. All that stuff sounds super interesting, super original. Is the ending satisfying?
Yes. He said with a question mark. I don't want to give anything away. The ending is...
I don't want to feel cheated. Do you feel...
No. I know, yeah. The ending is vindicating.
Okay.
It does not button up every question that you have. A la Inception, it leaves like, well, why was this? And how did this get here? But you know what happened.
Okay.
You know where the kids are. You know what caused it. And someone somewhere gets a comeuppance.
Alrighty.
So vindication is what I will say. And I'm not going to say anymore. The ending is, if not super satisfying, it's what you want out of a story like this, I think.
Okay, cool.
If it didn't, I don't think I'd recommend it. How many great movies have we sat through and you get to the end?
God. The end just messed the whole thing up.
And you're like, what? That's the end? You're not going to tell me anything else? Right. It doesn't quite do that. It leaves questions open, but enough for you to think about and enjoy, not leaving in the dark. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm okay with questions.
I am too. Yeah. So Weapons, it's in theaters now. You know how streaming is. It's going to be coming shortly. But if you can see it in the theater, especially with other people and hear them gasping and cringing, it's the kind of movie you want to see in a theater. So be sure you check it out.
Got some good news for your ears. More of that good stuff is coming up. And even better news for your hair. The best hair care is at Sephora. They've got all kinds of products for every kind of hair. From brands like Amika, Kerastase, Day, and K18. You knew where to get great audio. Now, you know where to get great hair care, too. Sephora. Good news for great hair. Shop hair care now at Sephora.com.
Love espresso, drip coffee, and cold brew? With the Ninja Luxe Cafe, if you can crave it, you can brew it. Espresso, balanced. Drip coffee, rich. Cold brew in a flash. With Barista Assist technology, you brew with no stress and no guesswork and make perfect silky microfoam hands-free from dairy or plant-based milks. Shop the Ninja Luxe Cafe at ninjakitchen.com.
Be sure to subscribe to or follow Gen X Grown Up wherever you listen. And while you're there, rate and review the show too. It helps more than you know.
You're in the big league. When you make a perfect play, you're in the big league. When you keep the team alive, you're in the big league. When you block a shot or two, you're in the big league. When you're in the big league chew.
Big League Chew, man-sized wads of great tasting shredded bubble gum stuffed into a giant Stay Fresh pouch. For Big League flavor and Big League bubbles, it's Big League Chew.
You're in the big league. When you're in the big league chew.
I'm going to kick off Tech and Toys today with something we bought, and it's a photo scanner. Now, the reason why we bought this is that me and my wife were like consolidating houses and all that stuff. And of course, she has boxes and boxes and boxes of pictures. Her parents were, you could almost do a flip movie of her and her brother's childhood with the amount of pictures that they took of them. It's just a ridiculous number. And so these days we're like, now we have all these boxes and we're like, oh, what do we do with them? And so we said, hey, why don't we just scan them and then we get rid of the pictures? Like we'll have a digital copy just to make sure there's nothing written on the backs, that kind of thing. But, there's no really point of having the actual photo unless we're going to frame it,
Okay, yeah. And you can always get a new print if you wanted to later, right?
Exactly. So we looked around. I have a flatbed scanner, but oh my God. I mean, trying to imagine just putting in pictures and doing a flatbed scanner just seemed like hell. So we looked, tried to find a relatively inexpensive photo scanner that we found. And we found one on Amazon, of course. It's called Plus Tech is the name of the company. And it's a photo scanner. And basically it's a top feed scanner. So you literally place the picture on the top, it rolls through, scans it, and has software that basically you can look at all your pictures. And when you're happy with them, you just hit save and it saves them all to a directory for you. Okay. It can do a 4x6 photo in about 10 seconds. Okay. Like you drop it in, you wait 10 seconds. No, you can't stack them. You have to put them in, you have to do one at a time feed. So basically I set up a laptop in the kitchen with this thing hooked up to it. Every time we walk past it, we just drop another picture on it. We just drop another picture. We have a pile, so we just drop another picture on it, get through it. But I've had this thing for about 4 days, and I'm telling you, we've gone through. We probably scanned over probably a couple hundred pictures at this point. And it does a really, really good job. It's 600 DPI images. So far, like I said, it seems like it's a really, really great deal. Yeah,
you kind of touched on the edge of the question I was going to ask you, and that was quality of the scan. So it's all about optics with these things. Now, as things get miniature and optics go up and phones, and I figured it had pretty good. You said 600 DPI.
Yeah, you do 300 or 600.
Okay, yeah. Have you yet brought these, now I know you've been saving them off, have you brought anything then into your computer to look at it to see?
Yeah, I did that the first thing.
Okay, to see the quality? Yeah.
Because I was like, I don't want to scan 400 pictures and realize this thing sucks. So we did some right off the bat. We did some, we scanned some pictures, we put them in the Dropbox, and my wife pulled them up on her laptop, her personal laptop, which is a much better monitor and screen and all that stuff.
Right.
And the quality was great.
The color saturation,
the color saturation was amazing.
Nice. That's what I was considered.
As she went through, I mean, some of them were faded, so she's actually used some of the software and, updated them and cleaned them up and stuff. But so far this thing is working like a champ.
Okay.
So I have some concerns and questions, mainly because I noticed you haven't mentioned the price. This thing is not cheap as a 1-unit device. It says it's $215. Is that what you paid for it?
$199. Yeah. Every other one I saw was closer to $300 to $400. The ones that do stacking. Whew. And the ones that do in order to get one that does this level of scanning at that speed, that's about what they go for.
Now, I did see in the description something that is a little bit different than what you were talking about. You said that this does up to 4x6, but what it says in the description, it says 3x5, 4x6, 5x7, and 8x10.
Oh yeah. No, I said we're doing 4x6s. It does a 4x6 in that period of time. It does 8x10 longer. It takes longer.
So it has a much wider versatility.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
At least makes the price not feel as bad. It even says up to A4 size paper.
Oh yeah, you could basically
pretty good size.
As long as you could get the width, it'll do whatever. That's the thing. And the nice thing is too, you don't have to put them in a particular spot. As long as you stick it along that top rail, it just sucks it down and scans it.
It's almost one of those things like you ought to be able to rent it, or when you're done scanning your 200 pictures, that you go and gift it to someone else or gift it to your kids or a friend or whatever, because when are you going to need to do this again? This $200 unitasker device?
Yeah, I definitely feel that this is going to be like at some point down the road, like, my brother's going to call, hey, can I borrow your photo scanner? Yeah. I found a box of photos I need to do. It's like, it's definitely going to be one of those things. I mean, because right now, the only other option one was sending them off to be scanned. That is just ridiculously expensive to have photos digitized. And they said doing it on a flatbed, like pulling them off and putting them
it's a nightmare.
Oh, that's just hell. I don't want to deal with. So I figured for it is $200. Like I said, it was $199 when we got it. Maybe it went up a couple bucks since then. But to me, $200 for the amount of time it's going to save us, totally worth it.
And it's hard to put a value on preserving these family photos. I get that it's worth the money, but you got to think about, wow, but it's done in a minute. And now you're like, or, I don't know, a few days, whatever it takes you to get it done. And then you're like, what am I going to use this for? I don't know, nothing.
Yeah. One day somebody said, hey, I got another photo to scan. I'm like, all right, hey, guess what? I got this thing. You just drop it in. There you go. You're done.
If you got one photo, flatbed.
Maybe you take advantage of how fast it is because it does them in like 10 seconds, you say. Maybe just do a marathon weekend where you and the wife just sit there and feed one after the other,
and then
get it done, and then send it back to Amazon.
So it doesn't work anymore. Doesn't need it.
Yeah. Don't need it.
Amazon rental. Yeah, sure.
I know. Just then buy it again if we need it a second time. So that's what I have. So how about you, John? What do you got for us today?
I have something that neither of you are going to give a crap about, probably, because neither of you wear contact lenses. But anyone in the audience who does, see, I know. Sorry, so you guys tune out. I know. More so than usual. You can tune out while I'm talking. So I wear contact lenses, and recently I got a new prescription and I changed brands and whatever. And so here's the deal with contact lenses. You get lenses that are supposed to, you change them every, whatever they say, 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever. They're supposed to be disposable. You do that. But the reality is those things are expensive. And so you want to make them last as long as possible.
Sure.
So you wear them a little longer until they're, they cause you discomfort or itchy or whatever. And what can happen is, look, you're taking these nice, well-carved, crafted pieces of plastic and putting them in your nasty, germ-ridden eyes all day. They get like protein deposits, and they get, kind of the porous nature, they call the air permeability goes away, and it makes your eyes dry and itchy and not good. And I even found that these, when I got past a couple of weeks, these new lenses, they started to get a little cloudy because they were getting that deposit on them that's changing the shape of the lens, so it's getting a little cloudy. So yes, I could just wear my lenses the way you're supposed to, but I don't want to do that. How can I make my lenses last longer? So I started doing some research. And what I landed on is this thing called the ReO2 contact lens cleaner. It's a little box that has a battery and a little screen on it. And effectively what it does is you put your lenses in it, you close the little lid. It has little, how like when you, like if you're charging your watch or something, they're not wireless charging, but they're like little brass contacts for battery charging. You have to line it up. So it's got magnets in it. You throw it in this machine. You tell it what you're doing. What kind of contact lenses do you have? And it starts cooking these lenses. Now, I don't mean cooking in terms of heat, but it uses something called electrophoresis that passes electrons back and forth. Yeah, no, Mo's looking at me funny. It passes electrons back and forth between the sides of the cups of the contact lenses and eats away at the protein deposits that are on your lenses. It makes them refreshed again. It gets rid of any deposits. It makes them porous so they breathe again. And I was dubious. And like you were suggesting, George, Amazon rental, I'll try it and see, right, if it doesn't work. So I ordered it and I got it. And I had some lenses that are kind of nearing the end of their time that they were probably supposed to be in my eyes. And so I did this thing. I charged it up. I put my lenses in it, put solution in there, put the thing, and it says, okay, we're working. It's going to take, 480 minutes or whatever. So you do it overnight if you're going to do it. And I'll be damned. In the morning, you take those things out, you rinse them off, and you can look and you can see these things look like brand new. There's none of that, kind of cloudiness or anything, none of the deposits on there. I couldn't believe it worked like they said it would. I was ready for this to be a scam that didn't work. But I'll be damned if it doesn't take even disposable lenses and makes them like new again. Not how many times you can do this, if it degrades them or not. I know what they've said. But here's the thing. It costs $80. And you might think, well, $80 to clean your lenses, Well,
it depends how many,
If you're going to buy contact lenses, you're going to spend a couple $100,
I mean, we spent a couple $100 to scan our photos. We might as well spend $80 to clean our eyeballs.
To be able to see the photos would be nice, right? If you can. Surprisingly, it lines up with magnets. There's all these magnets in it. It has a little, it has a little mirror you flip up the top. It's all this stuff on it. And a little screen with a couple of buttons. It's surprisingly high tech while also being surprisingly accessible and easy to use and easy to understand. I don't fully understand how it works, but I got to tell you, I'm on board with it. It actually works.
So I assume you used treated lenses already? Have you put them back in your eyes?
Yeah, they're in my eyes right now. Yep.
And that you don't feel any difference or anything in them?
They felt brand new again. So I didn't do this every night. I just use my regular storage routine normally. But now if they get a little irritating, I put them in this overnight, and the next day they're damn near new lenses.
I'm just a little bit jealous because I wear eyeglasses and I'm pretty much having to wear them all the time now as my eyes have gotten weaker over the years.
Yeah.
There doesn't seem to be a good, effective cleaning solution other than rub your fingers really hard over your lenses for glasses. And glasses have been around a hell of a lot longer than contact lenses.
Yeah.
So where the hell is my cool little magnetic one screen device that I could sit my glasses in overnight, let them clean, and then wake up next morning, have a clean pair of glasses?
Wouldn't that be nice? Right? Clean all the gunk out of the corners and everything? No kidding.
I just want the lenses clean because I'm awful at doing that. Like, I take it to the place where, you buy your eyeglasses. And those fuckers, they know what they're doing. They can clean them glasses in like 10 seconds and look like they're just right off the floor. I try and do it for like a half an hour and they still have smudges in them and everything. This is pissing me off.
Are you cleaning it with a grease rag, perhaps? So what do you?
I mean,
That's what I was wondering too. Like, what are you using to clean these?
No, I'm
you blowing your
using,
nose
like,
and wiping
different. That's the thing. Like when you first started out, you didn't have microfiber cloths. Now you do.
Tail.
But there's 20 different kinds of microfiber cloths out there, and there's ones that have like thick thing. Anyway, we're getting off subject. This is the contact thing, but.
Hey, I'll look and see. Maybe there's a solution for glasses, like there is for contact. Because this thing,
it'd be nice.
It works. So if you wear contacts, at least take a look at it. If you've had that problem like I have in the past, it might be worth taking a look at. I'm happy that I picked it up. So
cool.
All right, George, how about you? Since you couldn't find a good glasses cleaner, what have you been teching out with?
Well, so I didn't find this at all. This was something you actually got for me to take on that trip to New York, where I went to the Long Island Retro Gaming Expo. It's that wireless lavalier setup. Now, there are 100 different companies making these kinds of things, and they're pretty standard. They come with a receiver or two, depending upon connection type, a couple of lavs, and usually some type of a clipping system that most oftentimes has some kind of magnet with it, so you can, put a piece behind your shirt and the lav on front and stuff like that. Anyway, you got this for me. We tested it out in the Longhorn Steakhouse restaurant with our phones just to make sure it would work. I took it to the convention. I used it as directed, like they used to say in the old 80s commercials. And we got back and it was less than stellar sound quality. Now, I made sure, because you told me to, and John's our tech expert when it comes to podcast and video and all that stuff, I made sure to turn on the noise canceling.
Yeah.
We don't know. Maybe that's the thing that made the sounds really weird or something. Maybe I should have left that off. I don't know.
Seems counterintuitive, but yeah, you did. Yeah, you should.
It didn't work well.
That's not good.
These, I think you said, I want to say you spent under $100.
Oh, I think they're like $25. They're very inexpensive. And we keep trying to find good ones, and we keep nudging the price, 19, 20, 25, 30, yeah.
Well, that's why I put this on the list for today. Not because I wanted to talk about these, because I really don't think we should recommend these. I wouldn't put the link to these.
Actually, they're not even available. I checked.
Oh,
they're not.
well, hey, George, they will be when we return yours. They'll be available again.
Right, exactly. I just want to ask the question, and this is not just for us in particular, but maybe for our listeners out there who might also do other endeavors like what we do with podcasts and YouTube and whatnot to varying degrees. When does it become worth it to just spend the real money on the name brand equipment and quit fucking around with the $20 and $60 items and just spend the $200 for the DJI that every video thing out there shows works flawlessly? When do you hit that thing? So this was more of a discussion for us that I thought our listeners might benefit from.
Yeah, you're as I said, we've been trying to find budget priced, this will be easy. Just pick these up. This will be easy. And invariably either they wear out and one stops working, or they don't sound good, or they're overmodulated. And it's crazy that it's almost like nobody online cares about audio quality. They just go, yep, I can hear my voice. Whoop, 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 whoop. That's not what I said. I said, does it sound good? Right? You always assume like, oh, name brand is just expensive for the name, and then the others are they're just knockoffs with the same technology. But more and more we're finding with these wireless things, they're clearly, the money's going somewhere beyond just paying the corporate guy for the cool name. They are subpar, these little $20 and $30 ones. And when is the time? The time is now. We've tried so many of them, but it's so frustrating when so many other things you can get the budget version and it's 85 to 90% as good. It's not that same way with these wireless mics, is it?
My dad was very big on, there's some things in life you just got to spend money on. And one of his things was like, he says, dress shoes. He says, spend money on good dress shoes because crappy dress shoes will screw up your feet. He has, like he said, there's certain things. This sounds like one of those things that is just maybe the sound technology, maybe the components are just expensive to give the high quality sound that we need.
I mean, it's the exact same thing my father used to say about Camel cigarettes. You got to get the name brand Camel cigarettes, right?
You can't get that bargain basement cancer.
And the other thing that we're doing that maybe is a wrong shortcut is we would like to, for convenience, record the audio with the phone like we're recording the video. Maybe that's another shortcut we're taking, where we should just simply record the audio with something good, like a hardwired Zoom or something, that we could use, and then just sync up the audio later. But it's so tempting to go, let's just find a mic that works with this and all the audio and videos in a single file. But maybe it's time to think, let's treat them as two separate things.
Maybe, but I think truthfully, I think the reason why it seems like that's the easier way to go is because we've been shown that we can go that way with the DJI models.
Maybe
but
so.
To Mo's point, the components, maybe they're just higher quality. Maybe the condenser mics inside the DJIs are a better microphone than what's inside the ones that we've tried in the past. The electronic components don't wear out like you talked about in some of the other ones. I'm not saying that DJI or Rode, I think was the other one that was real big in the wireless live space. I'm not saying that they're perfect. I'm sure that people have problems with them. But every independent video I've ever watched on those products seems to be pretty sound quality high. And I don't see any videos on these $25 and $60 units that we keep trying.
That are able to make the same claims. Yeah.
Like just nobody's reviewing them. And maybe the reason why they're not reviewing them is because they try them and they suck and they send them back.
Worth the time anymore.
No point, right? Just send it back. That's the information we needed though, right? We've done the research for you. We've tried probably six pairs of these and they just continue to be not good. They're convenient. They're cute. They're nice container. They just don't have the audio quality that we'd like to have. Yep. No doubt. Yeah. I think it's right. We're going to pull the trigger. We're going to start shopping for something better. It's time. We're professional internet people. We're going to do that, right?
One of us is.
We have 100,000
At
people.
least one of us is.
Hey, it's Paris. I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
Each episode of Gen X Grown Up has show notes loaded with links where you can learn more about our topics. And there's even more to see and hear over at GenXGrownUp.com.
I like to keep myself sparkling clean and fresh. Now, if you want all-day freshness, there's this concentrated cleaner called Blue. Just pop Blue in the tank, then every time I flush, I get a Blue detergent rinse that helps clean and deodorize me for up to a month. The tablet dissolves so there's no dripping mess to remove, and my fingers don't get stained. I tell you, Blue makes me feel brand new. Try concentrated Blue. It's the simplest bowl cleaner yet.
This is the main event of the podcast. For the 3 in attendance locally and the millions listening around the world. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time!
All right, guys, time to get to the fun stuff with games, although I'm going to start off this round with something that's maybe not quite as fun as I had hoped it would be.
Okay.
I was playing a first-person shooter. Now, granted, I know I'm not the target audience. I am not a first-person shooter type of guy.
Okay.
That's my kids. I'm too old. I don't have the fast twitch reflex ability that they do, but we received a key to this game through some of our media contact places, right? So it's called Alpha Response. Now, the game right now has just been released. I'm trying to see what the date was. It was recent. Early access was October 8th, but they just came out of early access, I think, or something like that. Anyway, it's $20.
All right.
Been around for a little while. They've got some good development. It has some positive reactions, very positive, 106 on recent reviews, 804 reviews overall. That's not a huge amount, but it's not very poor or mid-range or mixed or whatever Steam assigns it for those. I tell you right off the bat, the first thing that surprised me about it, it's a first-person shooter with no controller support.
What?
Okay. Yeah. I mean, there are people that are keyboard and mouse purists, but usually you get an option.
Usually you have an option. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I fired the game up. It loaded really easily and quickly. Wasn't any problem with that. I turned on my Xbox One Pro 3 V2, whatever the hell it is, and nothing was happening. And I went,
couldn't use it.
Oh, that's odd. So let me go to controls and see what I'm doing wrong. I went to controls, and there is only a list for keyboard control mapping. Nothing else.
Oh, it's too bad.
So
that's
okay.
I feel like that's a miss, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure.
I did the tutorial. Now, the tutorial itself was easily laid out. It was simple to execute. They had a little helper guy that kind of talked through a radio because that's in the game's motif. And he, kind of walked you through, okay, pick up these grenades, throw them in these buckets. Here's how you load a gun. Here's how you move back and forth. Here's how you jump over something, crawl under something, that kind of stuff.
Sure.
So I feel like the game would be easily playable for anybody who enjoys FPS type of games. The only reason why I discounted a little bit, it's not the price. $20 for a game is nothing. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But no controller support. I just feel like that's
weird.
Yeah, that's just off when it comes to an FPS. So
yeah. What's the theme of the game? Is it zombies? Is it military? Is it?
No, you're policemen. So you're responding to different criminal incidents.
Oh, the alpha
from
response.
what I can tell.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. So first responder kind of thing to whatever crime situation. Okay. So it's more grounded in reality a little bit. All right.
Yeah. There's no zombies running around. You're not running through Mordor with a big sword or anything like that.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
Do you think if it had a controller, you would have more fun with it?
I think I would have taken to it a little bit faster just because, if I played first-person shooters, that was mostly during the Xbox 360 era for me. Mm-hmm. So I got more used to that. Like I said, I don't think I had any major problems. There are a lot of keys, though, to keep track of on your keyboard in this game. Sure. Every individual action has a different key. It's not like some first-person shooters get around the keyboard stuff because there's like one action button, right? There's the WASD that we're all used to, but then like the E key, interacts with all the elements inside the world. Not so with this game. There's different things for grenades and different things for switching your guns up and whatnot. Now, younger people who may in the future hear this for historical purposes or whatnot are probably laughing their asses off like, you can't handle 20 keys? No, I'm old. I'm sorry, I can't. But I think the game is worth checking out. I would play it for whatever time period you have, and then make sure you pay attention to your refund time limit.
Okay.
Just to make sure.
Just to be safe, because $20 is not terribly expensive, but it's also not insta-buy super cheap.
Mm-hmm. Was this on Steam, George? Where'd you activate it? Was it Steam?
On Steam.
Because I always thought, and maybe it's not available here, I always thought Steam had like an integrated controller to keyboard mapper or adapter. Yeah. But I think when that happens, it pops up and says, would you like to use this? And if that didn't happen for you, it may just not be available for this game. I don't know.
Yeah, nothing like that popped up. I do remember that from back in the day. Truthfully, I don't remember that ever working well for me.
Yeah, that's fair.
So I didn't even bother trying to explore it.
Okay.
I just played with the mouse and keyboard.
Gotcha.
So.
Just curious. Okay. Good to know.
All right. So in my game, I was a policeman who was trying to go to a crime. Mo, in your game, you seem to be coming to the crime after the fact.
Oh yeah, big time. It's called Crime Scene Cleaner. The game actually came out.
I just have to respect an amazing segue. I just got to pause.
That's true. Let's take a moment. Let's take a moment here.
When you go through the effort, you got to get recognition. Beautiful, George. Mwah.
Thank
you. Sorry. Please continue, Mo, with Crime Scene Cleaner.
I'm trying to think how to segue into your section after this. But anyway.
Well, don't screw it up.
Good luck with that.
Really, the bar is set high.
So it's called Crime Scene Cleaner. And the premise is exactly what it is. It's a first-person perspective game, and you are trying to raise money to help your sick kid, and the only job that you know how to do is you basically clean up after crime scenes, after criminals. So they commit these atrocious crimes, and you go there and clean them up. That's the premise.
You get paid on how much blood you get out of the carpet, don't you?
It is surprisingly fun. I kid you not. there's something like, I like games that when you're done, you get that satisfying feeling that, oh, I did this, right?
I mastered it, figured it out.
This is this, or this looks great now, you know? So when you go into an apartment that has bodies everywhere, blood splattered, things broken, furniture misplaced, I mean, it's ridiculous. And when you leave there, it looks like nothing ever happened, which is the job that you're trying to
just
do.
call the wolf.
Yeah, exactly. It is very much along those lines. Like, instead of, there's no fighting, there's no weapons or anything like that. You have you have a mop, you have sponges, you have buckets, you have power washers, pressure washers,
wood chippers.
Do you have a Sawzall? That's what
well, actually, you just take the bodies to like this air, like to the back of your truck. You just chuck it in there, and they just fall into buddy bags. But you have garbage bags. I mean, but like I said, when you're done with this, but when you leave these scenes, if you did your job, there's not a trace that anything happened, which is what your goal is, and you get more points for percent completions and all that stuff. There's a skill tree, so you could do things like, and again, it's like oh, now you have access to additional cleaners you can add to your buckets.
Now you have extra strength alcohol.
You're not kidding. You have extra strength things that now cleans harder stains and does this and does that.
Level 3 brain mopper.
Essentially, yes. I played through this, and let me tell you, it was hard for me not to just keep playing it, because again, you get that, and how it works, that it starts small, then they get bigger and bigger. But yeah, it is a super fun game.
So just a quick comment. Mo, this reminds me of your enthusiasm over that Shipbreaker game that you used to play a lot.
It makes me feel very good, too.
You're the only human being on the planet, I think I know, that when it comes to gaming, you want to do the most mundane tasks available.
Yeah, I'm going to next review the gas station simulator.
I know.
I think Mo would like the power washer game,
Right? I'm going to start requesting those keys from the press engine stuff, because honestly, I just delete them most of the time, but apparently that's right up your alley. So I'm going to start getting those.
I mean, tell you, on Steam is overwhelmingly positive reviews.
Yeah, because you're the only one that reviewed it, and you love it.
I'm telling you, like, thousands and thousands of people have played this game. It's super good. And then
all kinds of level 3 brain moppers out there.
That feels like bot review.
I think there's 12 scenarios you have to go through. And then when you finish those 12, they recently came out with an update, which is why I think it went on sale. It's normally a $25 game. I got for like $19. You have all the same scenarios, except it's called nightmare levels. And they basically add like a very weird supernatural twist to when you go there the second time. So you go to the same scenes, but now they're like, it's a cult thing that happened there that you're trying to deal with. And, it's weird. And one of them was really creepy. It was like, what was that movie with the animatronics that came to life and killed people? Like the ones that sing
Westworld?
The one in the Chuck E. Cheesy place.
The Chuck E. Cheese just one.
The one that game the kids are playing.
Five Nights at Freddy's?
That's the one. Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's.
They have a scenario that's like that, where the first time you go through it was an Italian restaurant and you did take care of it. The second time, it's like you see like the animatronic animal there. You turn around, you do something, you turn back, and it's gone. And you're like, this is kind of creepy. So you're trying to do your job.
Because the dismembered bodies in front of me weren't creepy enough.
No. Now you got this creepy animatronic thing that's like flying all over the place, and then your door will slam behind you. Anyway, it is a super, super fun game. And so if you give it a shot, I think that if you gave it a shot, you would actually enjoy it.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like I might. Yeah, Georgia, no,
I'm okay.
Georgia, no.
So I'm going to do a crappy segue here. So, John, what do you got?
That's not even trying.
I'm putting zero effort into this.
Yep. So I was playing a brand new demo of a game that just I think comes out in a couple of weeks, but it's a long demo. I live streamed it the other day. I'm going to give you the link to the live stream, Mo. So I'm going to take a look at this. And the reason I was interested in it is because it's based on an old Sega arcade game franchise from the mid 90s, Shinobi.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so you might remember Shinobi, which you had, you were trying to rescue all these people in these compounds. You had little throwing stars, and you could leap and attack people, and you had ninja magic you could use that would kind of kill everybody on smart bomb, kill everybody on screen. And then there were several sequels too. There was a Shinobi 2, and there was Shadow Dancer and some other stuff. So this modern game is called Shinobi Art of Vengeance. I found out about it from George's Bit by Bit news articles the other day when he said, hey, this thing is out. I'm like, oh, Shinobi, I'm in. First thing, I went and downloaded it. And it's about an hour-long demo, like I said, and they do not. Now, I think they even say on the screen that the demo is somewhat exaggerated in pacing. So you get to see more stuff and more abilities really quickly in the game. I'll tell you, George, if too many buttons is a problem for you, this game, you got to watch out. It might have too many buttons for you on the controller. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do. So yeah, it's like a standard Shinobi. And first, the art style is, I think I counted when I was looking at it in the live stream, it has that parallax scrolling, meaning different things moving at different rates as you walk horizontally.
Oh, right. Like behind it. Yeah.
Right. And I was counting all the moving layers, like the panes of glass. I think I counted about 19 different layers, from super foreground blurry, like a twig that passes by the camera, all the way back to 3 or 4 in the foreground to you. And anyway, you navigate this world. All these bad guys, of course, you're running this dojo, and the evil guy's going to come and attack the dojo. And you keep gaining. There's the upgrade skill trees. You gain new abilities and new ninja magic. And a lot of them require hold down this trigger and hit this button to do that, or hold down these 2 things, all these different ways. And it has all these chaining of combos where you attack with a combo. And then if you roll, you can continue the combo and start a new one. If you do it right, you feel like a major martial arts badass. You're really crushing it. And if you screw it up, you just get popped in the nose and you're not doing great. But it feels very satisfying.
I think the title of the game was what was most intriguing to me after I saw the trailer to it, Shinobi Art of Vengeance, because they heavily rely on the artistic value of the game. Mm-hmm. Right? It's that you were talking about all those layers that you would see in the scene. Mm-hmm. And I think that's going to be a driving force of the playthrough. Now, you played the demo for an hour. Right. Was that accurate in what I thought was going to happen? Did that play into it a lot?
So the art style is tremendous. The art itself doesn't have anything to do with the plot necessarily. I think it probably is a play on words. The artwork here is gorgeous. Part of it looks like a painting, but then like the sprites, your character, he looks a little more 16-bit, fewer frames of animation, like by design. He looks a little more crude. So there's a contrast there. And then of course the vengeance comes in, all these different ways that you can take vengeance for the people they've killed in your dojo at the beginning of this game. And of course they set it up. You're standing at your house, your pregnant wife is standing there like, oh, this can't go great. Something terrible is going to happen here. They gave you a few boss fights. They gave you some secret areas to go into that I clearly was outclassed for, and I left. I couldn't do well. There's environmental puzzles where, well, how am I going to get through there? I got to leap, roll, dash, jump, and chain things together. There's all kinds of different puzzles in it. And the art design probably is the part that leapt out at me first. But the thing that kept me playing was the combinations of attacks and all the different variable combos and chaining of combos to really make you have that, like, you can't mess with me like I'm a super ninja that I just learned how to push these 3 buttons in the same sequence, but I feel really awesome, So
cool.
I think it comes out, I forget, I didn't see the original date. Oh, I did. It's August, I think it's August 29th. It's a couple of weeks, actually. It's coming out very shortly. Yeah. So take a look at it. Take a look at the live stream and the link. I think it's something a lot of people in the live stream are like, I'm putting this on my wish list right away. If it's at all the kind of game you like the old Shinobis, it's probably going to appeal to you in some form or fashion.
So before we leave the game segment,
yes,
I bought each of you a copy of Crime Scene Cleaner. It's in your Steam library right now.
Yeah, I know. I just got the email for it. I was going to talk about it in my looking forward to section next.
So if you play it and you enjoy it next episode, you got to come on and say you enjoyed it or didn't.
I'll try it. Yeah, I'm on board to try it.
I almost want to return it just out of spite at this point.
Well, here's the test. Mo, does it use a controller? Otherwise, George is not in.
Yes, it does.
Okay, George.
Okay.
You're out of excuses.
It uses a controller.
I just want to know which thumbstick uses the mop.
It's actually pretty simple. Very basic control. So
there's a tutorial for cleaning up brains. You're all right.
There's a tutorial.
There's a tutorial.
All right. We'll be right back.
Una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. 8 configuraciones diferentes, intensidad ajustable, además es calefaccionado. Y se siente tan bien. Sí, una silla de masajes puede parecer extravagante. Y 2, bueno, aún más. Pero cuando esas sillas de masajes vienen con un auto, se vuelven bastante prácticas. El nuevo Volkswagen Tiguan 2025 con funciones premium como los asientos delanteros con masaje disponibles. Solo parece extravagante.
This school year, let the Walmart app ace your kid's favorite subject, snack time. With Nature Valley Crunchy Granola and Danimals smoothies, they'll actually wake up for. Kraft Lunchables for a truly refined cafeteria palate, or Gatorade for when they take Capture the Flag a bit too seriously. Get all their on-the-go cravings delivered right to your door, just in time for that opening bell. New school year, all the snacks. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
If you're a die-hard Gen X grown-up, you can pledge your support by clicking join on YouTube or by becoming a patron at genxgrownup.com/Patreon.
From the Masters of the Universe collection, the collector case that carries more than warriors, more than weapons. Your parents put it together. Battle Bulbs can also help you carry on the struggle. The struggle for
all the power in the universe!
the Battle Bones collector carry case from Mattel, each toy sold separately.
Before we wind up the show, as we come into the last segment here, we always like to take a moment to talk about the things we're either looking at right now or looking forward to between now and the next time we get together. And I'm going to start with you, George. I want to know what you have other than Crime Scene Cleaner on the horizon.
Right, yeah. So first up is I think it's going to be a movie. John, it's by one of your favorites, one of the Coen brothers. And it looks to be that it might be a Fargo-esque kind of storyline, like very odd and weird and dark comedy kind of thing. It's called Honey, Don't. And the main character's name is Honey. That's where the title comes from. August the 22nd, the day after this podcast drops. So I think that'll be an interesting film. I know you've been wanting to get me into Fargo for years, and I just never have gotten the taste of it. But maybe this will draw me into that Coen brothers style of comedy and drama and whatnot. Another one, it's a remake of an 80s movie that not a lot of people watched or liked called War of the Roses that starred Michael Douglas.
Kathleen Turner, right?
Kathleen Turner, right after their Romancing the Stone stuff. This is just simply called The Roses. So it looks like it'll be a decent adaptation from what I saw in the trailer in the movie theater the other night. But, trailers make everything look great, so we'll just see. I'm always interested when they take an 80s film that's kind of off the beaten path and redo it. Like, I did just see a trailer last night when we went and saw, or this week when we went and saw a movie. They're redoing The Running Man. Do you guys know this?
Oh, yeah.
That looks good.
That one. That
looks good.
It does. And I had no idea Running Man was a Stephen King story until I saw that in the trailer.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the original movie, the only similarity it had to the short story was the title.
That's and some of the character names, but basically,
but that's it. Yeah.
But the thing I'm looking forward to the most is season 4, the final season of Upload. This is an Amazon Prime series where it basically takes place mostly after you die. You die, you get uploaded to this virtual reality, and that's where you get to live out all of existence. But just like the real world, the afterlife is divided up amongst classes of people based on how much money you have and earned and all like that. But the series has some really fun political takes. It's got some really well done acting. It's not Stephen Amell, it's his brother that is the main character in this, along with Andy Allo, who she's like a famous singer. She was attached to Prince before he died. But anyway, last season, Amazon Prime starts on August the 25th.
So right around the corner.
That's what I'm looking forward to. Mo, how about you?
Cool. Yeah, looking for a movie. It's coming out early September. The Conjuring: Last Rites. John, I know we're a big fan of the Conjuring series, and apparently I heard this is the last one that they're going to do. So we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
Yeah.
They said that before, but it has the same actors stuff in it. So definitely looking forward to that. Season 3 of a show series called Invasion.
Yep.
Actually, the season 2 ended like 2 years ago. Some of these time spans between these things are just ridiculous.
We've talked about Invasion before on the show, like years ago. Years ago.
So I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch at least season 2 to figure out what the hell happened on it, because I don't remember anymore. So, but looking forward to that one starting, because I remember I enjoyed it. That's all I pretty much remember.
Yeah.
And also, in a week, me and Amy are going to take a trip up to Maine for the weekend, a long weekend trip. There's a dark sky area. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those. There's areas in the United States that are deemed as dark skies where you can go someplace and there's no artificial light. so you could see
light pollution,
stars, and no light pollution. And it's supposed to be, it's the end of some meteor shower, and there's going to be a new moon, so there's no moon out, so it should be pretty spectacular. Plus, it's got to be cooler than it is in Florida. So looking for.
I was going to say you could probably find a dark sky in the desert, but that wouldn't feel very good.
As good. So
less enjoyable.
So even if it's rainy, I don't care. It's going to be good, and I'm going to get a lobster roll. So I'm pretty happy about that. So that's what I'm looking forward to. So how about you, John?
Yeah. So a couple things. The final, it took forever to get a release, but the new film, new adaptation of the film, The Toxic Avenger. The old Trauma production that I remember watching in the 80s. Peter Dinklage is now the Toxic Avenger.
That's gonna be awesome.
It's weird casting, but I've seen some images from it, and it's the kind of crazy splash gore you expect. So it's in theater. Finally got a release date, August 29th. It's coming out. So I want to see that just to see what they did with it. Of course, we talked earlier about Alien Earth. I had only seen the first episode. I'm looking forward to watching more of that, seeing the second, probably rewatching the first and watching the second, like I said. I don't want to give up on it. Like I want to find out where it's going. I hope it's going where I want it to go. We'll see, but I want more of that, of course. And then the thing I'm most looking forward to, August 26th, again, just a couple days from when this drops, the new Gears of War Reloaded. So this is an entire remaster of the original Gears of War, and maybe sequels are baked into. I don't know. The good news is I didn't have to research it really hard. I think George is the one that told me about it. I went looking it up, and because I had purchased a certain version of Gears of War, I get this for free.
Yep.
Yeah.
On PC?
On Steam. So because I had whatever Gears of War, God knows what version.
I got to see if I have that one.
It might not be Steam. It might actually be the Xbox for Windows or something. Actually, it's Microsoft's first party. But at any rate, I purchased it from them. And so they sent me an email that said, go activate it. You can download it August 26th.
Sweet.
And the original Gears of War is just so much fun. I have big prop guns from it, that big chainsaw thing. I love the mythology around it. And to see it in like modern render with new textures and everything just be a lot of fun. So Emergence Day and Cliff Bleszinski, who wrote that for the Xbox back then, it was a big deal. And I always enjoyed it. So that's coming out August 26th. I'll give that a shot before too long. Okay. Before we wrap it up, I want to take a second to thank a new patron. But first, Mo, one of the benefits of being a patron is a chance to ask us a question right here on the show. Do you have a new question for us?
Yeah, I do. It's from James Jones. Okay. And he asked through Patreon, what were your first live concerts? The city and venue they were at, and who opened for them, if anyone.
That's
So I remember my first one. Actually,
go ahead. Yeah, please do.
It was at the Meadowlands in Long Island, and it was Prince. I actually saw Prince's Purple Rain tour in '84, I think it was.
That was your first concert.
And I've been to clubs and seen people,
and then spoiled thereafter.
Yeah, I went to clubs mostly because. I went to clubs mostly, saw people perform at clubs and stuff. But as far as concerts, it was actually my first real concert that I went to. It was in '84. I was in high school. Sheila E. was the opening act.
Yeah.
So that was pretty awesome. It was amazing. Like I said, I got so spoiled after that. So I've been pretty lucky with concerts, but that was my very first one, which was a phenomenal concert. How about you, John? You remember yours?
Yeah, I do. And it's kind of weird, but makes sense, I guess. I grew up very rural in the woods, and I enjoyed music, but mostly I listened to country and Western when I was young because my parents did. And so I wasn't aware of pop acts, and I wasn't going to concerts and stuff. But when I started to, in my senior year and started coming around to hip hop and rock and everything, I still hadn't thought about concerts that much. However, every year back then, Walt Disney World had this thing called Grad Night that you would go to.
Oh, yeah.
And you would go to Disney after they closed, and it was open all night. You didn't leave till like 5 a.m. And the deal was they brought in acts. And so that was my first exposure to live music on stage with the original artists that I knew. And I went 2 years in a row, and these are all blended in my head. I don't know which year was which, but I can tell you I saw, for the price of going to Grad Night, which is probably $30 or something, Samantha Fox, Ready for the World, ELO, just all these different bands. And they're at different places around the Magic Kingdom. You just walked around. Oh, they're on the main stage. They're over here in Tomorrowland. They're, and we would just walk from site to site and see who we wanted to see. And so there are no opening acts, but it was Disney World, which meant huge production value.
Yeah.
and they could get in anybody they wanted. It was all whoever the hot ones were. Oh, who was the new shoes? Da-da-da-da-da-da. I can't wait. New Shoes was there as well. I saw them. Yeah. So it was Disney for me. It was Disney World grad night. And I've seen a lot of other stuff now, a lot of Weird Al concerts and stuff, but that was my first. What about you, George? You remember?
Yeah. So, I mean, that's why I was kind of surprised by the answers to y'all's questions, because you guys are talking about high school. My parents took me to concerts when I was younger.
Oh, really? Yeah, we never did.
Cool. So, yeah, that I thought that was just something that everybody did, but apparently not. So if you go with my first concert ever, to be a more direct answer to the question, it was Juice Newton and Eddie Rabbit, Panama City Beach, Florida.
That's cool.
On a stage in the middle of the woods across from the Miracle Strip amusement park in Shipwreck Island Water Park.
Wow. Why not? Sounds good.
It was when Queen of Hearts and I Love a Rainy Night were super popular songs for the two of them at that time.
Yeah.
It was a fun concert. I remember really enjoying it because I liked those two musical acts at the time. My parents listened to country music in the car. That was the only thing I was allowed to listen to, obviously.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So I really had a good time. But if it's like you guys, the first time I went to a concert kind of on my own, then those would have been at the Civic Center. And I'm really not sure which one was first, because there were like 4 or 5 that I went to during my early to mid high school years. There was a Huey Lewis concert that I went to as a senior. So I'm sure that one wasn't first. There was a Def Leppard concert that I think was when I was a freshman.
That's nice too.
That was really fun. There was a Rod Stewart concert.
Yeah, okay.
Round about the same time. But the one that I went to but didn't get to see, still to this day haunts my dreams. Beastie Boys and Run DMC.
Wait, what do you mean? Went to and didn't see?
I went to the concert, walked up the venue. John knows the parking lot at the Civic Center.
Yeah.
The parking lot is down lower. You go up some stairs and you walk, quarter of a mile to the front door. I'm in the line to get in. I've got my ticket in hand and everything. And I go to put my hand in my pocket as I'm sitting there waiting. Where the fuck are my car keys?
Okay.
I'm like, and this is, I had just started driving, so I'm terrified about anything with my car. I go back down to the car and I'm looking around. I'm frantic. I'm looking all over the pavement, seeing, I had locked my car keys inside the car. Now,
go to the concert, smash the window later.
Most people would, right? They go to the concert,
deal with it, figure it out after,
AAA afterwards. But I was so panicked, I called on the I had to run back up to the payphone, called AAA locksmith, stood outside and waited. The guy said, I'll be there in 15 minutes. An hour and a half later, that motherfucker shows up.
Oh,
that's terrible, man.
Cuts a key, gets me in the car.
My heart feels
By
for
the
you.
time I get done, everybody's coming out.
Damn. That hurts.
Yeah, that one bothered me.
I can see that. Yeah. So, well, that's great. We got some trauma that we relived here. That's awesome. But it was a great question.
Enjoy, James. Thanks for that.
Yeah, thanks so much for your question. And if you want your question read here on the show, it's super easy. Just go to GenXGrownUp.com/Patreon, as little as $1 a month, and we'll read your question right here on the show.
That's right. And I mentioned I want to thank not a new patron, but it's another one of those crazy upgrade folks. Jason H. He's been a patron for a long time. He's actually wavered in and out of the free tier and the low tier. We don't have a tier that's $2, but he upgraded his to $2 just because he wanted to help us a little bit more. We say $1 a month's all it takes. He's like, yeah, let's make it $2.
That's
it's
awesome.
little things like that. It's collective kindness like that together join up to make sure that we're able to keep doing what we're doing. So Jason, thank you for doing that. Unexpected, super appreciated. You're already part of an army of amazing folks that have gone to GenXGrownUp.com/Patreon, open up their hearts and wallets and help us out. And you a bigger part of that. So we appreciate you. On that awesome note is going to wrap us up for this episode. Don't worry though, we'll be back in 2 weeks with another one. But next week, well, that's the backtrack where we pick a single nostalgic topic and dig in deep. George, why don't you do the honors and let the fourth listener know what's coming their way next week?
Yeah, we're going back to an era when album covers needed nothing more than the artist's face to entice you to buy them.
That's right.
An artist who has split off from a group that had already had its main singer split off before he even was the main singer of the group. We're going back to 1985, Phil Collins, No Jacket Required. We're going to break down each one of the tracks, talk about them. We each are going to get a chance to champion the track, talk a little bit about the history and things that happened happened around the album itself. Believe me, this is one of my favorites of all time. I've been looking forward to this anniversary for quite a while because I knew we would talk about it here on the podcast, and I'm hoping you guys are going to enjoy this awesome album because Phil Collins, this is right when he's in the middle of his
prime,
best single
prime
creative genius era. Yeah.
Don't want to miss that one. You're right. It's going to be good. Coming your way next week. Until then, I am John. George, thank you so much for being here, pal.
Yes, sir.
Mo, you know I appreciate you.
Always fun, man.
Fourth listener, it's you we all appreciate most of all, though. We cannot wait to talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.
See you guys.
Take care, everybody.
No life, no fun. Don't you know that you're a grown-up?
GenXGrownUp is a member of the Evergreen Podcast family. Learn more at evergreenpodcasts.com.
Watch these shows till sunrise. Unacceptable for grown-ups. Your dinner cannot just be french fries. Basically, life sucks as a grown-up.
Check out a high-tech gadget to help clean contact lens wearers. No, what the fuck? I put words in there. That's the first time I fucked that shit up in a while.
Okay.
5, 4, 3.